Success isn't random. It follows a code. Welcome to the Conant Code, where we break down the strategies, challenge the myths, and uncover the truth in 5 minutes or less. Now, let's crack the code.
It's the mid-1970s. Bell-bottoms, cigarettes in the boardroom, cameras that click, wind, and wait. And in a quiet little lab at Kodak headquarters, a 24-year-old engineer named Sasson builds something that doesn't belong. It's not sleek, it's not market-ready, but it's revolutionary. It's a prototype camera, and it doesn't use film. Let that sink in. Kodak, the king of film, and one of their own, just made it obsolete. Sasson shows his invention to senior management. They blink, they fidget, and they say, "That's cute, but don't tell anybody." That moment, that silence, that was the sound of fair winning. Kodak had just built the future and then buried it. Let's back up a second. By the 1970s, Kodak owned the photography world. They weren't just a brand, they were the brand. 85% of the market share. The name was a verb. People didn't take pictures, they Kodak'd the moment. It wasn't just cameras, it was film, paper, chemicals, developing machines. They didn't sell photography, they sold the whole ecosystem, and they made billions doing it. But here's the thing about empires. They're usually killed by inside jobs. Digital photography wasn't a competitor knocking at the door. It was a whisper from their own lab saying, "Hey, this might be the next best thing." But Kodak, they didn't want the next best thing. They wanted the current thing to last forever. So they shelved it for years. And when they did dust it off, they treated it like it was a gimmick, a side project. They never bet big on it. They never leaned in. Meanwhile, Sony, they got to work. Canon started testing lenses, and Nikon started investing in sensors. And suddenly, film started to look slow, outdated, wasteful. By the time Kodak tried to pivot, the market had already moved on. Smartphones, SD cards, online sharing, social media. The entire idea of waiting for photos to be developed was gone. Kodak didn't fail because of bad luck. They didn't fail because of bad technology. They failed because they lacked the guts to kill the golden goose. See, when you're an industry leader, you build moats. You protect what you've got. You listen to the sound of quarterly profits, not the quiet knocking of what's coming next. But the problem with protecting the past is it blinds you to the future. Kodak's biggest enemy wasn't the competition. It was comfort. And by the time they realized it, it was too late. In 2012, Kodak, the same company that invented the digital camera, filed for bankruptcy. The wave they feared, it hit anyway, and it took everything with it. So here's the code. Invention doesn't die in labs. It dies in boardrooms. It dies when people confuse what works with what will keep working. It dies when leadership becomes a protection racket for outdated systems. The disruption you fear most, that's the one that's coming for you. And if you're not the one willing to break what you built, you're just waiting for someone else to do it. So ask yourself, what are you clinging on today that will quietly kill you tomorrow? And that, my friends, is the Conant Code.
That's it for this episode of the Conant Code. If you got something out of it, share it with a friend, follow the show, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. More insights, more strategies, and more code breaking coming soon. Until next time, keep thinking, keep building, and keep pushing forward.